What's up, guys? It's the legit boss, Sasha Banks, and you are listening to WNS.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub. I'm Tyler Abear.
We welcome you to episode 327 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNSvideo, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You can find us on Stitcher, BeyondPodPlayer.fm, and Satchel. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
You can also follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at WNS_Daniel. You can follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
Yes.
So, my man. So welcome to the show. We've got a lot to cover this week.
I'm sorry if I keep on dropping Rick and Morty references throughout this whole episode.
Rick and Morty, 100 references, Rick and Morty.
Daniel just got me into it, and I'm on the second season.
Binge watching 100 episodes of Rick and Morty. 100 more seasons.
Is hilarious.
9 more seasons, Morty.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting show because once you get into it, now I'm starting to get into it as well. So we apologize in advance to our listeners who might be tuning in for the first time. It's going to be, might be heavy on Rick and Morty. Oh, jeez.
Tiny Abear.
Yeah, so like I said, we've got Extreme Rules to talk about, Raw, SmackDown, and of course, an exclusive interview with the boss, Sasha Banks. So you do not want to go anywhere for that. So welcome to any of our newer listeners who maybe have not checked us out before.
Yes.
Hope you enjoy the show. Doug, unfortunately, not here this week again. Duty calls. You know how it is. Duty. So Tyler, how you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah? Now, I got to let you know ahead of time, I didn't get to watch all of Extreme Rules. I saw it in bits and pieces, but I didn't get to see all of the matches. So I'm going to rely highly on you to
that's great.
Bring us through this pay-per-view review. Yeah. Can you handle that?
Sure. We'll see how that goes.
My man. So
one man reviewing. I'll do it.
Well, I'll chime in.
Yeah, you chime in.
But I didn't get to watch all of the matches, and I didn't get to see the full length of match, so... You know,
it's a good thing watching it like after the pay-per-view like officially airs that you can fast forward to when they're walking to the ring, you can fast forward to that.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus, and you can skip any unnecessary backstage interviews and all that,
or the repeats of I know on the pre-show they always show like the video packages, and then when you get to the pay-per-view right before the match,
hey, let's show it again. Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to give you our thoughts on Extreme Rules and all the other good stuff as well. We do have some feedback this week. It's coming from Pratesh, if that helps. I hope I'm saying it correctly. He says, the way Doug pronounces it, I think, hey, guys, have you ever thought about keeping a tally of your pay-per-view predictions and then provide an update on your next show as to how many points everyone got? If it'd make it more interesting and meaningful rather than just another segment on the show. You could do a loser forfeit at the end of each month or so, or something too. Like loser has to do the whole intro or buy a random WWE t-shirt like Nia Jax or Bayley's, or reach out to the audience and provide some fun forfeits. Could be fun. You could also have everyone participate and have a table. Here's my predictions anyways. Fox and Dar, Austin Aries, Bliss, Hardy Boys, Dean, and Finn. He went on to say that he only got one of those correct. P.S. for what it's worth, Tyler saying don't know is barely noticeable. It's free-flowing, natural conversation between three friends, after all, not some highly edited crap. Also, what are your thoughts on why creative can't book Bayley properly? What would you guys do? So thank you very much for the feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
To address that first, we actually did that on our Facebook page last year, and that was just, it's a lot to keep up with on my end. To keep the points, keep track of. I did that for a whole year.
Yeah,
I ended up winning by like a point or two, and that's another thing. Our predictions are so close together that I don't know like how interesting it can really be as far as something like that goes, because there are some times where we're unanimous on every single match. And I know that's kind of boring to some listeners where it's like, no, I want something different, but we're giving our opinions and that's just what we go with. I do like the idea of like loser doing the whole intro or some sort of punishment, but man, we'll sit there and watch the pay-per-view together and go, wait, who did I pick?
Yeah.
Like we've already forgotten. So unless we're gonna sit there and write it all down and all that, it's a lot. So but don't let me stop you from keeping tallies of our predictions if you want, by all means. But yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the booking Bayley, I don't know what the issue is, where the disconnect is. I don't know if they're just trying to make her something that she's not or what, but in NXT it was simple, it was easy storytelling, and maybe they just want something that's not as simple. I don't know.
Well, didn't she like do good like for a while, and now she's kind of lost with Alexa Bliss, right? But before this, she was doing all right.
Even her championship reign wasn't anything spectacular. And the fact that it wasn't like a WrestleMania win, so it didn't have like a big feel to it whenever she got it, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
Exactly. There's nothing memorable about it, and that's the problem. So I just felt like they haven't done a very good job booking her. I don't know what they can do to fix it, because damn. I know one thing they could have done to fix it, and that was in regards to what they did at Extreme Rules, which we'll get into. I guess we can go ahead and talk about that match since it is on topic. Before the match even starts, I didn't get to see it, but from what I heard, there was a backstage interview with Bayley saying, I don't like to hurt people, so I don't know how extreme I can get or something like that.
I don't know.
That's the number one thing. Okay, you're in a business where the objective is to hurt your opponent to the point that they can't move after 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So for you to say you want to be here, you want to be champion, but you're not willing to hurt somebody, that raises a red flag, because that's going, what are they thinking backstage? Like, what are those writers thinking? What's creative thinking? If they're going to have someone come out, they want them to be loved, but they don't want to do what they're doing, what their job is. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but like, Bayley's the type, her character's, peace, love, hug,
Well, sure, but you're in the wrestling business, and you've got to wrestle, and you've got to hurt your opponent.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying go out there and try and break her leg, but you've got to incapacitate your opponent.
Give her a bear hug.
Give her a bear hug, yeah. Bayley to belly, or whichever way it is. I mean, that'd be like me saying, okay, I'm a radio DJ, I'm a voice announcer, I'm a radio personality, but I don't like the way my voice sounds, so I'm not going to talk. It's like, okay, well, then what are you going to do? Because that's your job. This is what in this business, it's what you do. It's like, well, I don't want to upset anybody. It's like, dude, no, like, I'm a radio personality. I've got to talk.
Yeah.
She's a wrestler. She's got to wrestle.
I don't want to hit you with a kendo stick.
Whatever. That match, by the way, was awful.
It didn't last long.
It didn't last long.
What I really remember is that, they fought for the kendo stick. When they got down, they both fell out and they were trying to go get it. And Bayley was trying to fight Alexa from getting the kendo stick. And then Alexa finally got the kendo stick and started beating her. And I don't really remember too much after that.
And here's why I have a problem with that match.
Okay.
I want, if you can recall,
okay,
what was the specific wording that they said about the kendo stick on a pole match?
Oh, shoot.
I'll start you off. The first person to grab the kendo stick,
not wins, but
no.
The first one who grabs the kendo stick, it's like coming to me, but I can't.
Okay. That's okay. The first person to grab the kendo stick gets to use it legally. That's what they said building up to the match before they grabbed the kendo stick. So in my mind, when you say the first person to grab the kendo stick gets to use it legally, that means the second person, a.k.a. Alexa Bliss, who grabs it, gets to use it illegally.
Well.
So that's one of the problems that I have. I mean, it's a minor detail, but the way that they worded it, it bugged me. So,
I guess it didn't bother me because I don't remember it.
Well, sure. But it's one of those things where they were being very specific in their wording for this pay-per-view. Like the cage match. They were like, both teammates have to be out with both feet touching the floor at the exact same time. For the cage match.
When was the last time we had a cage match was tag?
It's been a long time.
Because I don't really remember how they, was it the same rules? Both of them had to be out?
Well, I think this is the first time where they didn't allow a pinfall or submission.
Oh.
So they had to escape.
Okay.
But it's the little things like that.
Yeah.
The match was short to protect Alexa Bliss because she's still trying to improve in the ring. Bayley grabs the kendo stick and doesn't use it. So she doesn't go extreme. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. But she's in a matchup who's against a champion, and she's claiming she'll do whatever it takes to win the championship. Yet she doesn't do it. It was really poor. It was a bad decision. I don't agree with it. Who the fuck am I?
You are
Danny
Ray.
I'm nobody, basically. Yes, my man.
That's me too.
I'm the Moon Man.
Goodbye.
So the kickoff match, Kalisto versus Apollo Crews. Did you get to catch that one?
Yes. Okay, I'm trying to, because I watched it Monday. I didn't watch it Sunday night. So, okay, Kalisto.
Nothing special. Anyways.
Was that the kickoff?
Yeah, that was the kickoff match.
No, I didn't watch it. I
Okay.
watched, the first match was Miz and
Ambrose. Okay,
so that's why I can't remember.
Yeah, Kalisto defeats Apollo Crews, whatever. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line. Miz versus Dean Ambrose, the stipulation. If Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, again, if Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, not counted out, not whatever.
They were really focusing on that with all the different things when Miz took the corner turnbuckle.
Which, when has that been an issue?
That's never really been okay. You have to use a weapon on someone, not hit their right.
It's happened numerous times where the turnbuckle became exposed, someone got thrown into it, and the match continued.
Yeah, this is the same with I know they're trying to make it look like, oh, we're going to disqualify you because all these little things Miz throwing Dean into the ref and the ref getting pissed off like, you did this and stuff like that.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, man.
The fact that he took the bump and wasn't knocked unconscious, the refs are getting stronger.
Yes. Cyborg. I don't know. I didn't think that match was too bad.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because I know how I'm not interested in that feud at all.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Maurice ends up getting ejected, and Miz uses the skull-crushing finale to become the 7-time Intercontinental Champion.
Which is good, because they need to get the belt. I felt they need to get the belt off of Ambrose.
I agree. It's the right call. The right person won this match.
In which they're going to have another rematch and all that stuff, but I'm kind of ready for them to get past.
Great balls of fire.
I'm ready for them to get past it, because I want to see who's going to be next.
Did you see the post about the Great Balls of Fire poster or whatever? It's got a jet line and then 2 balls that are on fire, but the flame ends up looking like a giant dick.
8 penis boobs.
Yeah. Someone tweeted the picture to Sasha Banks and says, "Does this look like a dick?" And she replied, "Yes."
Yes.
Yes. So, whatever. I don't know why they decided to go with that name. I have no idea.
I wonder if it's going to be a one-off. They're going to be like,
God, I hope so. I really hope so.
I'm going to fight you at Balls of Fire.
Yeah, great balls of fire.
My great balls of fire.
Balls of steel.
Balls.
Next up, we got to see Rich Swann teaming up with our guest this evening, Sasha Banks, to go up against Alicia Fox and Noam Dar.
Man, this also match didn't last long.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I got to see the one spot where Sasha jumped off the top turnbuckle and used the double knees on Noam.
Yeah. I think the right people won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they're gonna go from there. They brought Sasha to, I guess the feud with the 205 people. So I don't know if it's still gonna continue. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I guess the biggest question is, can you handle this?
No.
No? Okay. No. After that, Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley to retain the women's championship. Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys. Cage match. From what I saw, it was interesting.
It didn't seem that bad, but
wasn't that great from what I saw.
Parts of this pay-per-view got my attention. Some I was just like, eh. But
let's just be honest. The selling point of this pay-per-view was the main event.
Yeah, well, there was another match that got my attention I really enjoyed, but we haven't got to it yet. So.
Yeah, the submission match?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to that because Cesaro and Sheamus defeat the Hardy Boys to become the new tag team champions. I know a lot of people were questioning, like, well, wait a second, Jeff got out of the cage and then he got back in. What's up with that?
That's me too.
Yeah. Like I said, they were being very specific in their wording, which is why it threw me off with the whole Alexa and Bayley matchup, where it's like the first person to gain the kendo stick gets to use it legally.
Which Cesaro and Sheamus won, and they're gonna have a rematch. And I think the Hardys may lose it, and then I don't know where they're gonna go.
Well, the rumor is right now that they'll lose and then split.
Really?
Yeah. They'll become shattered. So that's just a rumor. It's circulating.
I mean, if that kind of stems and goes over there in that direction, I don't know. Matt goes crazy again, and does that? People will go freaking nuts for it.
Yep.
That's what they want.
It's what they want. Will we see it? I don't know.
It's sad, man.
Well,
the
fans will know it's there. That'll just be sort of like an inside thing where they won't address it, but it's there. Neville versus Austin Aries in a submission match. Take us through this one, Bear.
They really focused on Austin's leg.
Yeah.
And which that was pretty good. Man, there was a lot of high flying and back and forth stuff. I really thought Austin was going to win it, but you were correct. He did not win it. I forgot what else.
I know the crowd wasn't into this match very much.
No, they weren't.
I mean, they were dead. And that kind of worries me. Like, even if they had given the title to Austin Aries, like, what is happening in 205 Live? Like,
nothing like super important.
And that's the thing. Like, it's not something to make anyone want to tune in. I had some interest in the Neville TJP match, just because that was supposed to be the big blow-off. That's what they were leading to, and they just had it on 205 Live at random. They're just like, okay, well, you wanted this match, and now you're going to get it, so we're going to do that on 205 Live.
I don't know, man. Like, I just, all the stuff that was going on for 205 Live, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just bummed, man. I thought Austin was going to get it.
Not this time. I don't know where they're going to go with Austin Aries after this. I think he sent out a tweet saying it's time to reevaluate my career choices or something like that.
Really?
As far as what he's going to do next. But that takes us into the main event, the Fatal 5-Way to determine the number one contender. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. I picked Balor to win this one. I know, Tyler, you wanted Joe to win, but I think you went with someone else.
Yeah, I went with Balor.
Yeah. And sure enough, that's exactly what we're going to get. Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. And this is actually a fantasy match for a lot of people out there. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I hope that these guys put on a good show.
Dude, I am super pumped. Like, I didn't think he was gonna win with all the stuff going on, but then when he got it, I'm like, they're already promoting as a dream match, and but here's my concern about that. Like, I'm super pumped, but is it gonna be like a Brock Lesnar beatdown?
I hope not.
That's the thing.
That would be awful.
That's the thing I'm worried about. Like, well, Samoa Joe got these cool shots and he put him in like a submission. Brock Lesnar got out easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm hoping it could be like a badass thing, you know?
Well, let's talk about the matchup a little bit. It started off a little slow. Everyone's got to get their shots in. Let's work our way to the outside so that, 2 or 3 people can be in the ring while the other 2 are recuperating and all that. That part was standard. The ending of the match, I thought, was a lot of fun.
I know this was kind of repetitive, but I did enjoy the working together of Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, they told a very interesting story. They're like, look, we'll just beat these guys down, and then we'll find out who's going to win. Oh, I tried to get a pinfall, but you caught me.
Hit another person, go around, hit another person.
Yeah. So they showed, chemistry and made them seem like a viable threat. So I thought the matchup was a lot of fun, and I had a good time watching it. And I'm pleasantly surprised with the outcome. I'm happy that Samoa Joe won.
I did not think that they were going to go that way, but that's also good for Samoa Joe. But also at the same time, and I hate to be this way, I'm like,
he's probably going to lose.
This is filler. They're waiting on Braun Strowman. They're waiting on Roman Reigns. That's the big thing. It's Roman Reigns, and I'm like, oh man, you just don't know what you have right now.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar.
They're so stuck in their ways.
That is so badass. You don't realize it, but like I said, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
For what the outcome is.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think they'd do a title change at a pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire. And you're going to do it at your SummerSlams, your WrestleManias, one of the big ones. It's just, the fact so they have now less than 5 weeks to build up Samoa Joe for a viable threat, which I thought they did an excellent job on Raw. Mm-hmm. The promo between himself and Heyman was great. I love the fact that he's like, I'm actually envious of Brock Lesnar. I want his schedule. I want Paul Heyman to wait on me hand and foot. I want his title. Mm-hmm. And then Paul Heyman comes out and is like, dude, we were wanting Finn Balor because he's the best case scenario. He's
You're the worst case scenario.
He's a good story to tell, but in the end, we all know who's going to win that one. You're our worst case scenario. You're a threat. And I'm a little bit worried. So, wish you best of luck, and, we'll see you in a few weeks. But then Samoa Joe grabs onto Paul Heyman. And I loved the fact that they dropped the microphones. I don't know why. It just made it a little more intense. Mm-hmm. Because the fact that he backed him into a corner and he said, listen, the fact that Brock isn't here, it pisses me off. I want you to deliver a little message for him, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my arm around your neck, and I'm going to pull it a little tight. You're going to have shortness of breath. Your eyes are going to cross.
Yeah.
And things are going to go black. And when you wake up, tell him this is for him. And the fact that he got to do it was great. Like, I absolutely loved it. Because now it's going to be
nuts. It's like, Paul Heyman's like, you put your hands on me, now my beast is going to beat your ass,
Yeah, and they even did that on Raw later that night where, they were in the trainer's room and Heyman answers the phone call from Brock, and he's like, what can I say? The guy's out of his mind, and I think it's time to unleash the beast.
Which next week, that is the thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Brock and Joe confrontation.
And I think they're hoping that this is going to raise their ratings, because they've been under 3 million viewers for like the past couple months, which is like their all-time lows, or they're at lows recently. So I guess they're hoping that this is going to do something for them.
Okay, so I hope this is. Okay, we don't know what's going to go down, but I have a feeling that Lesnar's going to win.
Sure.
But I hope what Heyman says is true, that Joe's going to take a piece of Lesnar with him. And I wish that I want Joe to rattle Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
give him a fight.
Yeah. Not like, because okay, the whole Goldberg thing was a different situation.
Sure.
Totally understand that. But Brock's style is he comes at you, he's going to grab you, do all this shit, just throw you around. You know how
you can't really throw Samoa Joe around. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he is. So wouldn't that be the style of, even though they're not the same size and same height, would it kind of be the same, like, would you take him as like a Big Show, Mark Henry thing? You know what I mean? He's not Big Show big, but he like let's compare him to Mark Henry, maybe. Esque.
Well, Samoa Joe very similarly to Brock Lesnar is deceptively fast. Mm-hmm. For a guy of his size. I mean, Samoa Joe is 6'2", 282 pounds. So for him to be able to move the way he does with the speed and the power behind him, it's impressive. So Brock Lesnar is 6'3", 265. So it's a fairly level playing field.
And plus, this is good, like, also to get these feuds out of the way, because certain guys they now have in WWE are older.
Yeah.
Like, Samoa Joe's, they said he's 38.
Yeah.
AJ Styles just turned 40.
Yeah.
So these certain feuds, these dream matches, you have
to move fast.
Yeah.
We don't know how long we're going to have these guys.
Because I don't even know if we're ever going to get, Brock, AJ, or anything like that. But
I don't know.
But no, going back to Joe and Lesnar, I have this high expectation for it. But I just do not want Lesnar just to manhandle Joe the whole time, and Joe gets these few hits on him. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, look at... Okay.
You want it to be a showcase.
Yeah. I know they're different styles, like him and, Joe and Ambrose or whatever, but look at Ambrose and, Ambrose and Lesnar thing, and, or the Lesnar and anyone else, really.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. I hope that these two guys get a lot of time, and I hope Joe gets some shots in. I like the fact that they're both submission guys, or they both have submissions.
Because there's no way in hell that Joe's gonna do the muscle buster to Lesnar.
No. I could see him slapping the submission on the clutch, but Lesnar probably powers out. And that'll probably end up leading to the end.
That'd be badass. He has that wrapped around Lesnar.
Yeah, I like the fact that he won the Fatal 5-Way decisively like that. It wasn't It wasn't a cheap win. It wasn't a roll up. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't someone hits their finisher and he pushes them out of the ring and goes for the pin. It was no, you just done everything that you could to win, but I caught on to you and made you pass out.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that. I like the fact that they did that. It was a lot of fun.
This puts a spotlight on Joe right now because he hasn't really had too much.
He's really been floating lately, and that kind of worries me.
That puts him in the spotlight for the next 5 weeks?
Yeah, at least. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Samoa Joe having a good matchup against Brock Lesnar. He goes up to, Lesnar will more than likely win. Yeah. And then we could see Brock versus Braun Strowman at SummerSlam. Because, honestly, I know that they're trying to build towards Lesnar versus Roman for WrestleMania. But I'm telling you, I feel like the Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns match would be a bigger draw.
They're going to get there. They've been trying to do it for like a few years to get this whole Roman thing situated.
Yeah.
They're going to do it. I feel like it. Like, I know. I'm just a guy just saying stuff.
Sure. I just feel like, I don't know. We saw what they can do, and it worked. It was fine.
Yeah.
But the Braun Strowman Roman thing was so much better.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion. It was so much more enjoyable. I would be more than happy to watch Roman Reigns fight Braun Strowman for weeks on end. Yeah. Which they've been doing. They showed us stuff that we haven't seen in a long time with the flipping of the ambulance and all that. So, have Braun versus Roman at WrestleMania. You can put Brock against AJ Styles. That could be your dream match.
It's one of the other dreams.
You could have Samoa Joe against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, a dream match I think it's gonna happen. I'm waiting for Shinsuke and Cena.
Yeah. And I think that might be, well, I don't know, because Cena is going to be coming back as more of a part-timer, and he's coming back 4th of July. So we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. But as far as Extreme Rules, the only match you're really needing to watch is the main event, I feel. Everything else was kind of passable.
Yeah, man. What you gotta be part of that Titus brand.
Titus brand, that's right.
Yeah, man.
Everyone loves TB, right? So
what's your name? Tawalza? Yeah, did you watch my? You gotta watch my match, Tawalza. Yeah.
Tawaza. Doesn't matter. It's Tozawa. Whatever.
Tiny Rick.
That's right. So Bray Wyatt kicks off Raw, saying all of the members of the Fatal 5-Way were guilty. Roman Reigns comes out. Fans boo him relentlessly.
Boo!
Then they have a match, which was a really good match. Really enjoyable. Went 3 segments. Like, they did the talking segment. Match starts, go to commercial, come back, match, go to commercial, match concludes.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of time. I really wish they'd go the SmackDown route where we can watch some of the match while
I was about to say
commercials are happening.
Some matches you can. Some things they don't do picture-in-picture.
Yeah. I think they do it like once an hour, which is cool.
Do it all the time, motherfuckers.
I'm fine with one, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. So, yeah, it was a good match. I like the fact that backstage, Alexa Bliss is like, hey, I want to do a This Is Your Life segment. And Angle straight up calls him out and be like, no, that is not happening. Last week you did it, and it was awful. I love the fact that they at least...
Backstage just like, hey, we're going to make fun of all the crap you did, so you can say it, and we're going to shut you down on air. I'm
taking that as an apology from the WWE. Hey, look, we know that was really bad. That was on us.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you're not going to do that. Elias Sampson comes out, cuts a song or whatever. Dean Ambrose comes out, forget what happened, but he ends up getting attacked by Elias Sampson, and then Ambrose is given the night off.
If they're going to do a feud, I mean, I don't know if they're going to. I mean, Elias Sampson's dealt with Miz, he's dealt with Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to that dude.
Yeah. It's just weird. So Kurt Angle gives Dean Ambrose the night off. Then we had the Samoa Joe Paul Heyman segment, which was awesome. Sheamus and Cesaro go up against Heath Slater and Rhino. Quick matchup there. Cesaro and Sheamus get the win. And then they cut a promo saying, hey, you guys, being the Hardy Boys, you guys picked the stipulation and we still beat you.
Yeah.
So we are the bar. We are the bar.
We had a premonition.
Yes. It was delightful. After that, we got to see TJP approach Neville, saying, hey, man, congratulations on your win. Now I think I'm owed a title match. And he says, okay, we'll go out there and take care of Mustafa Ali, and we'll talk about it. So TJP does
that. Was quick,
that.
too. He came out.
Yeah. He comes out, and he's like, yeah, I'm getting my matchup. And Neville attacks and says, you'll get your
first
match.
He says no.
Yeah. And then he's like, wait a second. Wait a damn minute here, mofo. Kalisto goes up against Titus O'Neil. Quick matchup. Kalisto gets the win. Make it a win.
Yeah,
whatever you want to say. Big Cass was attacked backstage. So now it's Cass getting attacked. Interesting.
Yeah. Unless that's just all...
And the Revival were seen backstage.
Yeah. Unless it's just a... I don't know what's going on, because they still did the Kurt Angle, Corey Graves thing.
Yeah.
And Corey Graves will not say,
Which there's a rumor that that's something that could be leading to Kurt Angle versus Triple H at either SummerSlam or WrestleMania.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I don't care.
Who would you rather see Kurt Angle go up against?
Okay,
Daniel Bryan doesn't count because he's retired. It's like, well, shit, there goes my pick.
Like, I don't know if it would be a good match now or whatever, but I'm still with
Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Headbutt her around the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
They put some good matches on.
I like the fact that they were face-to-face as well. It was like, I'm going to destroy anyone who gets in my way. And then Seth Rollins
It's just
was
so
like, hey,
cool because it's like Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles are back with WWE. Well, not back, but, Kurt Angle's back with WWE.
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, technically they were with WWE.
They have wrestled for WWE before.
Yeah, so it's just cool for all of them to be together. And hell, Kurt Angle loves those guys.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Big Cass ends up getting attacked backstage, and Enzo is forced to find an opponent or a teammate to go up against Gallows and Anderson, and he finds the Big Show, which they cut a promo. I thought that kind of fell flat.
Yeah,
the matchup was quick. Then Big Show, he was going in and out of accents, like he was trying to do a Jersey accent mixed with something else.
Yeah, I don't know,
and it did not sound
pretty.
Yeah, it did not flow. It didn't go well at all. Big Show and Enzo get the win. I did laugh at the Miz's Intercontinental Championship celebration. The fact that he and Maurice were having a great time, drinking some champagne. They were like, oh, wow, you even got me a dancing bear. And she's like, well, I didn't get the dancing bear.
I like how he was paranoid.
Yeah, he was. He was waiting for it.
Because I thought Ambrose at first was the bear.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted you to think. And so I love the fact that that Miz even controlled the crowd a little bit. They were chanting, you deserve it, you deserve it. And he was like, that would really mean something if you guys didn't chant it at every person who wins, And then he attacks the bear, finds out it's just a regular guy. And he's like, well, at least you can say you got beaten up by the Intercontinental Champion, and tosses him out of the ring. Yeah. Maurice brings a present down to the ring, and it's very large. So Miz immediately attacks it, smashing it with a chair. Maurice tries to stop him.
Jumps on it. That doesn't fucking hurt you.
Right. Turns out it was a grandfather clock.
Oh, let me jump on it 3 times. I don't feel shit.
It's been clock blocked.
I think Ambrose has done this before where he's the cameraman.
I think so. And that's what it ended up being. He was the cameraman all along. Miz saw it on the Titantron. Oh my gosh, he's behind me, and got a dirty deeds for the trouble. What was next? We got to see Alexa Bliss take on Nia Jax. So Nia finally gets her championship match.
She tried to rally up some of the women backstage. She's a threat to all of us.
That was funny because Sasha was just like, I know what you're coming in here to do. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm going to go call the WNS podcast later. So Mickey and Dana were like, all right, we'll come out and watch your match, whatever. So the match, whatever. I felt like this was pretty poor.
I actually missed this part.
You didn't miss a whole lot. Nia was throwing around Alexa Bliss. Mickie James and Dana Brooke come down, and they're laughing, blah, blah, blah. Alexa then pushes Dana Brooke and Mickie James, and their reaction was, oh, okay, I'm going to punch you too. So they attack. Nia Jax gets disqualified. Alexa retains. Then Nia Jax beats up Mickie James and Dana Brooke. So that's where they're going.
When do you think Mickey's going to leave?
Man, I feel so bad for her because they could have brought her back in such a better fashion in the way they did. Like, go and watch the reactions she got at NXT TakeOver when she went up against Asuka and watch where she is now.
Yeah.
Like, when they brought her in NXT, it was like, this woman's legit. She's awesome. Like, she's a credible threat. And now it's like, oh, we're bringing you in as Alexa's helper, and now you're good, but you're going over here, and you're not going to talk at all, and we're not giving you any mic time or screen time or anything.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I feel like they don't do a good job most of the time with, like, people they bring back.
Yeah.
The Dudleys, it was awesome. The Hardys was awesome, but I feel like they're about to...
No, the Dudleys was not. It was cool when they first came.
That's what I said. It's awesome when they first came. Then they fell off. And
then it becomes the nostalgia.
They never got, the titles and stuff. And better be careful. The Hardys are going to be like that, too.
Exactly. Like, what's going to happen when the fans stop chanting delete?
Yep, because you know, well, I guess they can't do that, but you know what I mean.
We'll see.
That's what I feel like with the whole Goldberg thing. That was perfect.
Yeah,
coming back, you know what I mean? He had a little time, he did his thing, now he's gone, and that was good.
Yeah. The main event, Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. Thought it was a fine match. Samoa Joe wins via submission.
Yeah, via satellite.
No, not quite. So that pretty much does it for Raw. And I know a lot of our listeners are probably going, all right, get to Sasha. So we'll do that. We'll do the Sasha Banks interview and then do SmackDown.
Okay.
Were you waiting for me to we'll do that after SmackDown. No. Well, let's get into it. Here's our exclusive interview with Sasha Banks.
You're listening to an exclusive interview on WNS.
All right, folks, joining us on the show this week, it is the boss, former 3-time WWE Women's Champion for Raw, Sasha Banks. Sasha, welcome to the show.
That's right. Well, thanks for having me.
Got a few questions for you as we jump right in. You've made headlines being in NXT, and now you've made headlines coming up to the main roster on Raw. In fact, back in 2015, you had what is considered one of the greatest matches of the year when you faced Bayley at NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn, and again in your Iron Man match with Bayley. What is it about your chemistry with Bayley that made your matches so special?
It was our love-hate relationship, and just figuring out that, we actually have so much in common. We love this business so much, and, talking to her more, her dream was to be a wrestler when she was 10. My dream was to be a wrestler when I was 10. I wanted to change the definition of what it was to be a woman in the WWE, and she had the exact same feelings. So it's just that mutual love for this, and knowing that we always wanted to steal the show, and getting the opportunity at NXT Brooklyn, man, and just hearing that crowd, we tore the house down. And honestly, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to tie up with her again. But that's all in due time. And, ever since then, from that very moment, this woman's evolution has just been taking over. And from there, I got to main event, a WWE pay-per-view with Charlotte in a Hell in a Cell, and the first ever women's match in a Hell in a Cell. And it's just been such a whirlwind of just excitement. It's so crazy.
Absolutely, and like you said, you making history when you and Charlotte became the first 2 women to headline a WWE pay-per-view and the first 2 women to compete in Hell in a Cell. So take me through the thoughts that you had when you were walking through the curtain towards the cell. What were you thinking when you saw it?
Well, first of all, I came out in an SUV, so I wasn't really walking through because I'm a boss, you know what I'm saying? But it was in my hometown, and I just remember being and looking at it and be like, holy crap, man, we are making history. And it's moments like that where you just kind of have to stand still for a second and look around. And I remember I did that, and I was just like, man, we've come such a long way for the women. But even from then, getting to be part of WrestleMania and having these great women's matches. And, the SmackDown women are going to be competing in the first ever women's Money in the Bank. And, of course, I'm really jealous, but I'm so happy just to see where this women's division has taken and grown. It's so incredible, man.
You mentioned growing up as a fan. It's been well documented. You being a fan of Eddie Guerrero growing up. Now that you're on the main stage of WWE, how does it feel knowing that now you have fans who are wanting to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give to them?
Oh, first of all, it makes me feel super old. But it's so crazy seeing little girls and even guys come up to me and be like, I want to be a wrestler because of you. And it honestly, it just gives me the feels. It gives my heart this so happy, and it gives me goosebumps because I know that feeling of when I was a little girl and I looked up to all my favorite wrestlers, knowing that I wanted to be in their footsteps, and now knowing that little girls and guys want to be in my footsteps. It's surreal. It's really surreal, and it's an honor. Being a role model is legit number one for me, and I just want to make little girls proud and know that if they have a dream, they can do it. As long as they put their heart and their passion and everything into it, they can accomplish anything.
Very cool. What would you say was the most difficult transition for you from going from NXT up to the Monday Night Raw roster? Because I know NXT they have a centralized location, but they do tour often, but not on the same schedule as Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I think for me, we did TVs at Full Sail in Orlando, and it would almost be the same kind of fans coming every single month. And we would tape it, but Raw is live. We do this legit every single week. It's live. It's in a different state, and it's a different crowd every single week. So you just don't know what to expect, and you kind of just have to change with the crowd. If they're feeling one way, you got to try to make them feel another. You know what I mean? So it was definitely just changing that and not having, TV tapings to being live every single week and the travel schedule, man. It's intense, but, if this is your passion, it's easy, man. I have the greatest times. We have the greatest fans, and they're so passionate and loyal, and it's so much fun.
Since you went up to the main roster, has there anyone who sort of took you under their wing to kind of help you throughout?
Nope. Honestly, when I first got called up, I was so nervous, and the people that really just looked after me was New Day, and I was so fortunate enough to be paired with two amazing, incredible women, Tamina and Naomi, and they just took care of me so much. But it was those girls in New Day what kept me going. They told me, their struggles, their highs, their lows, and we were all in it together. And those are my people right there. That's my family. You have to create a bond with these people because we see these people more than we see our own family. I see my mom legit like twice a year, and I see these guys every single week, 4 times a week, you know what I mean? So you just kind of have to create that bond, and, we fight, we argue, but we love each other all the most. They become my siblings.
Yeah, absolutely. You even return the favor of them being your family by appearing on Up, Down, Down from time to time. Actually, you lost a competition and had to eat hot pepper. How was that?
Oh, that was awful because, I really do love spicy food, but Bailey added sriracha to a habanero pepper, and that was awful. I thought I was going to die. I was more scared that I was just going to be on the toilet all day before a match. But thankfully, I got it together, ate a lot of rice, soaked that all up, and, that's no fun. But the Up, Down, Down it's such a great outlet for all the boys, just, to be able to relax before a big show, and it sucks to lose. So, I gotta go win right now. I want to play Up, Down, Down right now.
There you go. So you're no stranger to video games, but oddly enough, the number one question that I got from people whenever I told them I was going to be interviewing you is, is it true she's a big fan of Sailor Moon, and what other animes is she into?
Oh my God! So Sailor Moon's my number one. I've watched that since I was a little girl, and I used to say, because I didn't understand time when I was really young, it would always come on at 6 in the morning, so I stayed up all night thinking, it would be on at night because it was still dark outside. So I would always watch Sailor Moon. I love Death Note. That's one of my favorite animes of all time. Monster, School Rumble. I can just go on and on. I love anime.
What are your thoughts on the fans who like to dress up as you? Since we're going into anime, that made me think of cosplay, and you see fans all the time dressing up as Sasha Banks. How does that feel? Is that inspiring? Is it flattering, or is it kind of weird?
No, it really makes me know that I've made it. The fact that people would take the time out to buy my stuff or even make costumes to dress up like me, to get a purple wig, just like everything. It's the coolest thing I've seen. And, we come to these WWE shows and I see it all the time, or I go to autograph signing, and just even seeing little girls wear my jewelry and my necklace, it's the best feeling in the world.
I want to switch gears a little bit because we are getting ready for the upcoming Mae Young Women's Classic. Is there anyone that you would Is there anyone you'd like to see enter? Is there anyone that maybe you have your eye on that you wouldn't mind watching in the ring?
Yeah. So anytime when it comes to like a really big show or matches, I go down to Brooklyn, New York, and I train with Amazing Red. And getting to work with his students have been absolutely incredible. So there's this woman named Sonia, and Sonia Strong, and she loves it so much, and I love her passion for it. So I really want to try to push her into this Women's Classic, but I think this is a great opportunity for women all over the world. And just finding out that we were going to have our own tournament after seeing these guys get it after year, and it's like, no, the women deserve it too. And it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be the best tournament out of all of them that we had so far. And I can't wait to go down there and support them all, and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Definitely. And I'm sure you've been asked this question numerous times, and you've probably gotten sick of hearing it, but how does it feel knowing that you're part of that women's revolution, the change in the WWE, and not just WWE, but for the entire world? It's showing women can be taken just as equally, if not more.
It's exactly. Women are taking over the world right now, and it's such an honor to be part of it. I always knew that I wanted to change the definition of what it was to be a diva, and now we're not divas anymore. We're superstars because we are equal, and we can do it just like the men. We can main event like them. We can take over pay-per-views, and we can just show out and show them that we are better than all of them. So it's a huge honor, and, we still have a lot more to do and a lot to overcome, but we are in the right footstep, and we're just going to keep on going up.
Very cool. You know, you're only 25 years old. You have so much of your career ahead of you, but you've already obtained such a level of success. You were NXT Women's Champion, 3-time WWE Raw Women's Champion. You're in the first Hell in a Cell Women's match. What do you think is going to be the next big challenge for the boss? What's your next step?
I want to main event WrestleMania, baby. That's the number one goal right now, is just to get there. It's so crazy knowing that I've only really been on the main roster for 2 years now, and I've done so much, accomplished so many things. I've done so many first-time evers, and man, it gives me goosebumps thinking that I've done so much, and everything that I ever dreamt of, I have accomplished. But main eventing WrestleMania is the number one goal right now.
Very nice. And we always like to ask this question just because we never really know what to expect. Sometimes you get a funny one. Sometimes you get a more serious, oh, man, they almost got in trouble. But is there any kind of on-the-road story that you could share, something that you were involved in that's just really fun to tell?
Oh, man, that's almost too broad of a question. I can't think. It's something always happens every single week. Because we travel all over the world. We're in a different town every single day, and it's so hard to think of any stories, man. I don't know. Maybe one time me and Bailey almost died because we couldn't see. We were driving in Pennsylvania, and I almost ran off a cliff. And I was like, ah! We were in the middle of nowhere, and our GPS would stop working. I was just like, oh, my God, are we going to make it? So there's, like, little scary stories like that. There's so many funny stories, but you know, it's the journey, and maybe you can read it in my book one day. Maybe I'll write a book.
Definitely. You'll definitely have to look forward to that, all the crazy stories like that. If you have a personal matchup that is your all-time favorite.
So what's my favorite match I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Of course, any Eddie Guerrero match is my favorite. But people are going to know that. So I loved Eddie versus Rey Mysterio from WrestleMania 21 and a Halloween Havoc. But I also love Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, their first one they've done. Mm-hmm. That one I always watch, and it still gets me every time. I'm like, oh my God. And matches like that are just like timeless, you know. If you can still be a fan after you already know who wins and loses, those are the matches that I'm just like, oh my God, it's amazing. And of course, me versus Bailey from NXT Brooklyn. She's my favorite wrestler of all time, so I love wrestling her.
Well, very cool. Well, Sasha, we certainly appreciate your time. Like I said, you will be appearing in Beaumont Ford Arena June 11th as part of the WWE SummerSlam Heatwave Tour. It's going to have Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, the Hardy Boys, Alexa Bliss, and, of course, the boss, Sasha Banks. And you can follow her on Twitter at Sasha Banks WWE.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you.
So there you go. Really cool stuff. Hope you all enjoyed it.
She seems nice.
Yeah, very, very cool of her to come on the show. Let's talk SmackDown as we're getting closer to Money in the Bank. Our prediction show will be next week. Goodness gracious. Shane comes out, introduces the ladies as they're all standing around a table. And I did chuckle at Shane because he flubbed his line when he was trying to introduce Tamina. He was like, the two-time second generation.
She's never been champion.
He is like, poor Tamina. She's getting like all the slack when it comes to Shane. Like, he introduced Tamina, brought her out. Oh, I thought that's what. Oh, you are wanting someone else? Okay, well, let us get out the real talent.
Oh God.
And now he's like, oh, it's the two-time generational.
The shit that you're doing, she better win the title. You know, right? She better win the number one contendership, and she needs to win.
Mm-hmm.
Give that lady a title.
I'll be honest, the front runner in my mind to win Money in the Bank is Carmella.
Sure.
Because she's not, and I don't want to sound negative about it.
Don't.
She's not there in the ring yet, like her ring skills, but the Money in the Bank briefcase gives her an out.
Yeah.
So she could get it, become champion, maybe improve, lose it or whatever, and I feel like that's where they're going. Is it what I want to see? Not really. But they only have so many options.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Handful.
Yeah. I mean, they could easily go at Charlotte at any point.
And also James Ellsworth.
Nope.
You can win the money.
Not a woman. Not a woman. Nope.
Santino.
Nope.
Marilla.
Also no. Also a man. Cannot
no,
win
Santina,
women's.
Not Santino. That's his sister.
I am Santina. Santino Marella's sister. Yay! That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm personally at the moment leaning towards Carmella, but we'll see. We got to see the debut of Lana. So she came out wearing her dress and just immediately got into it and said, oh, I can beat you, Naomi. And Naomi was like, bitch, get out of here.
Yeah.
You haven't beaten anybody. So, but later on in the night.
Snatch you bald.
Later on in the night, Naomi did say she wanted to snatch her bald, put her in a matchup against me. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll even put my title on the line. So they were like, all right, that's going to be our main event. That's going to be happening at Money in the Bank. You're going to defend your title against Lana in her first match. Will she win? Probably not. That way Carmella can come in.
Yeah.
Cash in. They had a backstage segment with Mojo Rowley. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. They had a 6 women's tag match. Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella going up against Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. Nothing really stands out from it for me. Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella end up getting the win. Anything stand out for you?
Nah.
All right. One thing that did stand out was the backstage segment between Shane McMahon and Mojo Rawley. Did you get to catch that? I like the fact that he's like, hey, man, I won the Memorial Battle Royal, and I feel like I've just been sitting on the sidelines, and I know this is a land of opportunity. I'd really like the opportunity. I'd really like a chance. Like, it felt so genuine. It felt so heartfelt, and I loved it. You can say what you want about his mic skills or his, in-ring performance or whatever. This was really good.
He seems like a good dude.
Yeah. He seems like a really good guy, and, it seemed heartfelt, and part of it might be true because he hasn't really done much on SmackDown since WrestleMania.
Yeah, choo-choo, Playboy.
So he gets put in a match against Jinder Mahal for later on in the night. AJ Styles goes up against Dolph Ziggler, gets the win.
Yeah, man.
Got that win back.
Yeah.
So that's good. I like the fact that he won with the Styles Clash. It's not just a
I feel like they have
signature
chemistry.
Yeah, they're doing all right together. We got to see Fashion Files with the New Day. It's a little too much.
It's all of them. It's really not too great.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool. Like I said, week after week, it's cool that they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not great.
Yeah. Jinder Mahal ends up defeating Mojo Rawley.
I like the theme music to the Singh Brothers. When they first came out, I was like, whose music is this?
I think that was part of the celebration from the previous week or something like that, or maybe a really different version of it or something. Yeah, it did. And I like the fact that the floor screen or whatever has the red carpet that rolls out. That's a pretty neat little thing. Even though Jinder was a few steps ahead of it, that's all right. So Jinder Mahal goes up against Mojo Rawley. Kind of basic matchup. Mm-hmm. Jinder gets the win. Then he cuts a promo.
You notice that they're saying, I know JBL's been saying it, but they now have Jinder Mahal saying modern day Maharaja instead of just I'm the Maharaja.
Yeah. Modern day.
I'm like, nah, just say Maharaja.
Yeah. Nope, you gotta coin it. You gotta coin a phrase.
Yeah.
Sort of like the whole Shinsuke Rockstar thing. Where did that come from?
Rockstar.
I'm not liking it, to be honest.
They're getting away from, what was it?
King of Strong Style?
Yeah.
Which is what he was?
Yeah. Which was on a shirt, right, that they made? No?
Yeah. It was the first shirt he got. King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And now they're just like, nope, he's the rock star. Which...
They're going to change his music to Party Like a Rock Star.
Oh, God.
Party like a rock.
Kill me.
Like a rock star.
The New Day ends up defeating the Colognes. Nothing really to it. It looked fine.
Took the cologne to the boys in the lab.
Yeah.
There's no boys. There's no lab.
Okay, you're just staring at us right now. Can they hear us? I don't think so. But, Sami Zayn was attacked backstage by Baron Corbin.
As he's always been attacked for the last few weeks or on and off.
He was supposed to be on commentary, but this time he was not. So Baron Corbin said, I'll take that spot. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens. They were building it as the first time ever.
Which in WWE, like one-on-one, yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens, yes. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Steen, no. Anywho, Ring of Honor posted that matchup before SmackDown got underway on their Facebook page. I thought it was a fine match.
I like how Baron Corbin got one up on Shinsuke.
Yeah. The match concluded. Shinsuke gets the win, and then Baron Corbin attacks, delivers the end of days. And I chuckled because his little beanie cap fell off. And then I immediately thought of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie where the king removes his crown, and everyone's like, bald, bald, bald. And he's like, it's not bald, it's thinning. Because his hair is thinning so much.
I was playing the 2K17. I was playing as Baron Corbin in that thinning spot.
Yeah.
In the video game. It's not there. It's like he has like
he has full
in
head of hair?
that one spot. Yeah.
That poor guy.
Yeah, just go with like the the realness, just like a little balding,
Yeah.
They're not gonna do that. Maybe in his action figure they can do that.
We'll see.
Little lightness, right there.
Or you buy the action figure and shave off some of the dark paint. We'll see.
Accurate.
Yes. So that pretty much does it for SmackDown. I don't really have any hot topics. Do you, Tyler? Anything that you know of?
I read online CM Punk just got booted.
Booted?
From the challenge.
Boot.
The pros. And
really?
Yeah.
Was he like eliminated or
eliminated.
They kicked him off?
Eliminated, sorry.
Okay. There's
eliminated.
Yeah. Slight difference between the two.
Yeah. Also,
that sucks.
Was it 2 days ago? Maybe yesterday, my wife was like, hey, come watch this. She was watching The Bachelorette.
Oh, God.
And Kenny King is on there, and they were doing some wrestling stuff, some mud wrestling or whatever, but you could tell it was scripted though. But
of course.
He was cutting a promo before that and stuff, and he was doing his Ring of Honor stuff, and it was quite funny.
Interesting.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. So if you have any questions for us, make sure to submit it on our YouTube channel, WNSvideo, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. You can check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, or subscribe to our show on iTunes if you haven't already by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You can find me on You can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Podplayer.fm, and Satchel. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
You can also follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at WNS_Daniel. You can follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
Yes.
Tiny Rick.
And watch Rick and Morty.
You can definitely do that. And
Tiny Rick.
And if you don't, then in my culture, they call that a dick move. So for the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
And we will catch you all next week.
My man.